It's good to be back. I was on the stage a year ago this month, pitching our seed round. At that time, I was the sole employee of a pre-launch company. As of today, we have launched our system. I'll show you in a minute who our clients are, but we are now in the market with a tested and proven product that uniquely solves the problem of secure communication between healthcare professionals regardless of where they work. We are the only system available out there today that can connect up healthcare professionals from disparate organizations that are otherwise unconnected without touching any IT within our host client environment. We also, as a result of that, are able to include the patient in the conversation and also attach our system to remote devices and aggregate remote data that lives outside of the EMR or in the hospital or the physician practice. So, the problems we solve are simple. The ability to communicate, get off the phone, be able to connect up and impact workflows around coding, around patient transitions, around consults between peer-to-peer professionals and professionals outside the organization. Since last year ago, we now have a team in place, a world-class team, together with over 60 years of healthcare. I've been a healthcare IT executive since 1997. We attracted the Western Regional Sales Leader from Accretive Health to join us a couple of months ago. She's now had 2 major closes in 2 months. We attracted a CTO who's been with Fortune 500 as well as startups with a stint at Osher LIJ, and our Director of Account Management, not pictured here, just joined us recently from Alere Corporation. So we're well on our way to doing this. We know the space and we have a lot of relationships in the space. We went from a pilot a year ago, who has now gone live, to 10 clients, actually, 11 clients as of this week in 5 states. We have over 800 users. And that slide got weird. So the name of the product is MD Chat. And the MD Chat platform, again, as I mentioned, is the only platform that allows for the connectivity and communication not only between professionals within an existing organization, but across organizations, regardless of what system they're on or what device they carry. We have another product that I'll just spend 1 second on, MD View, which is a real-time HIPAA-compliant imaging, viewing, and sharing product that will tie into the MD Chat platform. Our system is accessed by a web or a mobile app that lives on an iPhone or Android device. So the reasons we win, this slide could also be why we're different. So our focus is not on connecting the internal people, although we certainly have to do that and we do it well, but our focus is on connecting the folks that are external. So a patient discharge environment, you're trying to get a patient out of a bed in the hospital, inevitably someone who has to sign off on that patient is not in the hospital. They work for someone else, the primary care doc, for example. And those people are not connected up to any system in the hospital except for the EMR. So how do you reach that person? We allow for that workflow, that paperwork, that data to flow from our system to their system, to their device, without any IT impact in the organization, and we're able to do that because we can authenticate that the people are who they say they are in real time in the cloud without tying into Active Directory. It's a zero-footprint solution, and the way we define a message is not just person to person, but person to device. So now you get into issues like readmissions, where we can impact significantly the ability to manage and monitor a patient and make sure they're adhering to their care plan. We can tie into things like blood pressure cuffs and wireless scales and pill dispensers and those kinds of things. From our buyer's perspective, it's a great solution because it's very inexpensive to implement. There's no IT project, which keeps it off the IT person's plate, and it's a big platform solution. It's not just a one-trick pony that's solving internal communication, but it's also solving a whole bunch of other things that get to the control of patient readmissions, workflow around coding and billing, workflow around patient transitions, instead of just one thing. We target community hospitals, physician groups, and home care companies, and home care is turning out to be a big boon for us. It's a virtually untouched market. We have competitors in the space, and we're the only ones that can do all the things that we can do. Our sales strategy is simple. This is my 6th company, my 4th one in healthcare IT. We sell through channel partners primarily. We also have a small direct sales team that cherry picks our clients, manages our partners, and the way our system works is if you're a member of our system and you want to communicate with me and I'm a non-member, you send me the message, I can get notified, I log in, I have to authenticate myself to prove I am who I say I am, and I can communicate with you for free forever. But if I want to turn around and use the system to communicate with you or someone else that's not, I'm going to have to pay or bring it into my organization. We do this through enterprise licenses and individual subscriptions. Our average enterprise license is around $35,000. On the individual basis, someone could pay with a credit card to plop this app on their phone and communicate with anyone they want for $100. We've raised just over $1 million so far in capital. We built, tested, and launched the MD Chat platform. It's up and running. Our mobile devices are out there. As I mentioned, we have 11 clients in 4 states, over 800 users. Our management team is placed. We generated just a little bit of revenue last year at the end of the year when our first 2 pilots came out and went into full production. And we have the MDView system is 80% complete. It'll be done in about 6 weeks. We'll be a $30 million company in 5 years. We're going to run at about 80% gross margins. We're looking for a bridge right now because we have a whole bunch of things that are happening. A lot of our customers are coming out of pilot shortly, and we'll be doing a Series A round launch probably this summer, probably towards the end of the summer. We are trying to make sure we have enough capital to get us through that runway between now and then. With this money, we will double our client base from 10 to 20 organizations. We will quadruple our user base from 800 to over 3,200 users based on what we have on our pipeline today, and we'll also solidify our revenue run rate. Just 2 quick announcements while he's walking up. We were honored this week by being invited into the Startup Health Accelerator Program. We were one of 10 or 12 companies that they selected. We'll start that program shortly. We were also honored this week by being matched up with a major New York City partner, the New York Health Pilot Health Tech Program. So we'll be joining that and finding out who the partner is. I'm supposed to hear today, and we'll get matched up next week and meet with them. Thank you.
It's always especially gratifying for WICA to see companies that have presented previously at earlier capital forums come back a little bit later and achieved so many of their goals and moved so much further along in their growth and development. So, do we have any questions for David?
You said this is your 6th company? What happened to the other?
Varying things. So I've had a couple of really nice exits. I've had one go out from under me. I've had one living dead, and one is still operating in the Twin Cities, which is where I'm from, by the way. So I've started companies in 3 states, the 4 of them in healthcare IT since '97. We can talk more about those outcomes, but they've been.
Average answer, great.
Yeah, thanks.
4 to 6, most
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
settle for that.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
last question.
How does your technology interplay with this whole Obama electronic medical record keeping? I mean, is that something that's competitive? Is that something you can?
No, it's not competitive at all. In fact, the way the EMR works is it's nothing more than a data repository. That's what an EMR really is. It manages the data that doctors and nurses and clinicians put into it about patients when they're in the hospital or in the physician's office. After that, how do you communicate about a patient? How do you, when the patient needs to get out of the hospital, the EMR plays no role in that patient transition of hooking up the case manager on that patient to the intake manager at a long-term care facility or the home care worker like Visiting Nurses of New York to get them back home and to monitor their care after the fact. So they use our platform for all of that, and the physicians are using it for all the informal stuff that they're doing on the phone, things that do not happen in the EMR. And right now they're doing everything from open texting to playing phone tag all day long, which is incredibly inefficient. And so this streamlines that opportunity and makes communication fluid and seamless for those people.
You know, will your success be dependent on the full implementation of the EMR, or can it?
It has no relation to the success of the EMR, which, by the way, is mandated by law now. So, I mean, the EMRs are going in. 80% of hospitals have them. 50% of physician practices have them. But what we care about is locations where they have a lot of external communication, which is why we chose the community hospital market and the home care market in particular to focus on. They have big technology gaps and lots of external communication requirements that the EMR can't solve.
Okay, so any further questions, I would ask you to please,
I'll be
take
here.
up with David. All the presenting companies,
Thank you very much.
All the presenting companies, again, will be around after the conclusion of our event this morning, and we encourage you to follow up with your additional questions with them at that time. Right now, I would like to introduce the president of the Long Island Capital Alliance, Corey Masella, who is a partner at Citron Cooperman. Corey will moderate our investor panel this morning, and I'd like to also invite up our panelists to join us on the stage.